Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the Mobius X8 knee braces available at RevZilla.com. So it took me crashing a Himalayan, smashing up my knee, and not being able to ride for 6 to 8 weeks before I decided it was time to take a look at some knee braces. And through the course of this, we've decided to make some videos breaking down the top manufacturers of knee braces across RevZilla.com. So if you're looking at this, make sure you don't just check out the Mobius video, but check out the videos on Lead, on Asterisk, as well as Pod, because with this selection of protection, really the first thing you want to get right is how these fit. And when you're considering the fit, every single manufacturer will have a slightly different system for how they fit, what's adjustable and what's not. And keep in mind, knee braces are an investment. They're definitely more expensive than if you're looking at knee guards. And the reason you're taking the step up from the knee guard is great if you're just looking for impact protection. So if you crash down, a knee guard will stop or reduce the amount of force transmitted back to your bone. What it will not do is it will not help with rotational forces, and the rotational forces is what really screws up your knee. That's where you're tearing an ACL, an MCL. That's where it's taking those ligaments and it's just shredding them on the inside, which will require painful and time-consuming surgery to make yourself better again. So what you're going to see with the knee brace is an increase in price. So when we're looking at the Mobius, it's anywhere from $400 to $600 for a pair. Again, much more of an investment than something like knee guards, which are traditionally around $120 to $140 for a pair of those. Now, this pricing will change for Mobius depending on the size. So when we're looking at the X8s, this is the only knee brace that Mobius runs. For the 2 extra small to the extra small, so for kids sizes, they're going to be around the $400 price point. So you do get a slight discount for the smaller sizes. Once you're looking at small through 2XL, that's where you're up around the $600 price point. There are 2 different colors available. You can see them right here on the screen. The other thing to keep in mind too is the fitment for this. Like we said, it's really the most important thing to consider. So there's a lot of knee braces, as we discuss them in the separate videos, is, you know, some are better for skinnier legs, some are better for larger knees. With the Mobius, because this goes up to a 2XL and it is a larger brace, for those of you out there with thicker thighs or with larger knees, this is one you can consider up into that 2XL size. Now when you're sizing for this, every brace is going to be different. You want to start at the center of your kneecap and you want to measure 6 inches up and then measure the circumference of your thigh at that point. Then go ahead and utilize the Mobius size chart on RevZilla's page, and that is your starting point. Now once you get them, there's a wide variety of how to adjust and how to fit each of these. Now, just taking a look at the Mobius from the construction, this is going to be a PIM fiberglass construction with 6061 aluminum. Now you're going to have aluminum in the buckle, the ratchet point, as well as you're going to have aluminum in this adjuster for hyperextension. Now what you'll notice is that the 2 knees that we have here are adjusted differently. This little middle piece you can fine tune. There's going to be different sizes included in the box, and this is your hyperextension point. So once you have this adjusted, you'll notice that Zito on my left-hand side has extra hyperextension adjustment on the right leg that he does on the left. Now again, you want to make sure that when you size these up, you have the same size piece in either size. We just did this for the video to showcase that you can fine tune which of these you use. Now when it comes to getting these fit on, Zito, go ahead and face sideways for me. What you'll notice is that these are going to be a dual axis system. So you have a dual hinge system, 2 axis points on either side. And Joe, just go ahead and go and strike the riding position, give me a little bit of an attack position. What's great about this is that with a dual hinge system, the knee actually moves separate than the top and the lower piece. This means that you can move with a great range of motion. It acts the way your knee would act, and you don't feel any extra binding the way you would with, you know, a single hinge system that you would see on some lower level pieces. Joe, you can stand up straight. I know that's a little bit uncomfortable for you. Now, when you're looking at how to actually get these on, you've measured, they've showed up in the box, and you want to figure out how to put these on. Joe, go ahead and face backwards. What you'll notice is that the most important piece to fit up first is the number 1, and all of these are going to have giant numbers on them. And Mobius is a little bit different than some of the other manufacturers we've seen. They're saying you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 4 up top. Either way, the most important place to start is going to be 1 and 2. So with 1, you want to Velcro these down on top of your calf. You want to go above the calf and really make sure that these are locked into place. Once you have that adjustment, stand up, sit down, move the brace around and make sure that it's really locked in, make sure that it fits right on your knee, then move up to the second adjustment. Now the second adjustment is going to utilize almost like what we've seen with Asterisk, with their BOA system, but it's not quite as advanced as their system, but it's going to work in the same way. You're going to have this cross design, which is going to be controlled by the actual adjustment point in the front. Once you adjust that, you would go down to 3 and then 4. But what I do want to show is I do want to show the adjustment for that. So Zito, go ahead and just face forward for me. Just spin all the way around. Now, when we're looking at the adjustment point for that second one, when it's in the loose position, you simply push this little yellow tab up, and that is going to loosen the system out. If you need a little bit more room, you can actually unspin it, and that's going to loosen that whole back side of the system. You then just slowly start ratcheting up. I pinched him earlier, so I'm being very careful not to pinch him again. But you just go ahead until it's tight, and that really locks the brace on here. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a secure fit that's locked into place, and that way it moves with you. It shouldn't impede your motion. The last thing you want is a knee brace that feels like it's just horribly uncomfortable, and then you're focused on that, and then you end up crashing anyway. It will take some time to get used to. If you've never used knee braces before, that's the biggest adjustment, is getting used to having these on, still gripping your tank, still moving your knees normally. But once you get used to them, they become like second nature, and honestly, then you can't ride without them, because you're like, oh man, I feel naked without my knee braces on. Now, the one downside to the Mobius, you're looking at a brace setup that's $600 for adult sizes. There is really no ventilation here. All the other manufacturers that we looked at, they're really just true braces. This is almost like a very sophisticated knee guard. You're having full protection. Now, this is a positive and a negative. The negative comes from the fact that there's no ventilation here. If you're riding in the warmer months of the year, this is going to be hot. This is going to be sweaty, and it's just going to be a bit uncomfortable, to be completely honest. But what you are getting is, if you're riding aggressively in enduro situations where there is aggressive underbrush and trees and rocks, you have full coverage from an impact protection standpoint. So you're not going to have to worry about anything actually poking through any of the spots. So this is actually going to be more for penetration protection than anything else. And that is going to be something that is going to set Mobius apart. And again, if you're riding in cooler temperatures and you're not so worried about ventilation, that's not going to be anything to consider. The one thing that I will note is that there is no leg sock included with the Mobius as well for the X8. A lot of the other manufacturers include leg socks. You're going to want to wear at least a base layer underneath here, if not a leg sock where you would then fold down the top portion over top. But those are your considerations to think about. The other thing I would ask you to do, because all of these are going to fit differently, if you have skinnier, slimmer legs, there might be a better brace out there for you. Check out the videos that we did for Pod, Asterisk, as well as Liat. Those are really the top braces that we have on the site, and they're all ones that you should kind of look through to find the one that best meets your price point as well as your functionality. If you want to hear what other riders have to say about the X8, now would be the time in the video where you click that little info button on your desktop or mobile device. You click that and you can read other rider reviews, folks that are already out there utilizing a Mobius X8 on their rides. And if you still have questions, if you're still confused, reach out to one of our gear geeks, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining me for this look at the Mobius X8 knee braces. I'm Spurge, and these are Joe Zito's legs. Enjoy the ride.